In the realm of music, few themes resonate as powerfully as loneliness. Many artists have explored this universal sentiment, but Croatian songwriter Mateo Balaban, through his poignant composition Blues for the Kings, articulates a profound and multifaceted exploration of what it means to be alone in a world rife with connections. In just a few verses, Balaban captures the essence of isolation, loss, and the search for meaning. Although the song is brief, comprising 2.5 minutes of heart-wrenching lyrics, its depth is immeasurable and commands a closer analysis. Through an examination of the lyrics, the song's thematic richness, and the implications of its emotional landscape, we can argue that Blues for the Kings serves as a powerful commentary on the human experience of loneliness, transcending cultural and geographical barriers. At its core, Blues for the Kings encapsulates loneliness as an intrinsic part of the human experience. The repetition of the phrase, "I am a lonely man," immediately establishes a tone of desolation, suggesting that this state is not merely a temporary phase, but rather a permanent part of the protagonist's identity. The phrase echoes throughout the song, underscoring the weight of solitude that clings to him relentlessly. This mantra reveals a deep sense of self-awareness and resignation, highlighting that loneliness may be an unavoidable aspect of life for many individuals. Furthermore, Balaban's choice of the word lonely carries emotional heft. Unlike being alone, which might imply solitude by choice, lonely suggests a yearning for connection that remains unfulfilled. The protagonist states, "I am trying to get things right," which conveys an internal struggle, one that many can relate to as they grapple with unfulfilled desires or relationships. This line evokes empathy from the listener, serving as a reminder that the journey to reconcile one's existence in a lonely world is both personal and universal. The song's emotional weight deepens with the protagonist's reflection on past love. When he recounts, "I've had a woman. She's been a good woman to me," it introduces an element of nostalgia that is then shattered by the line, "She took the ring and threw it in my face." This imagery signifies not only the end of a relationship, but also the violent severance of a bond that once held promise and comfort. Here, Balaban presents a stark reality. Love, which often serves as a remedy for loneliness, can transform into a source of deeper pain. The act of throwing the ring signifies betrayal and abandonment, suggesting that the protagonist's previous sense of companionship is irrevocably tainted. It highlights the fragility of human connections and the emotional scars that remain long after they have dissolved. Love, often seen as a refuge from loneliness, paradoxically fuels the protagonist's despair, illustrating how quickly affection can turn into anguish. As listeners, we are compelled to consider how relationships shape our identities and influence our experiences of loneliness. While the physical act of being alone is central to the song, Balaban also hints at a deeper psychological isolation. The refrain, "I am living my life alone," reinforces the idea that this man exists in a world bustling with people, yet feels distant from them. It speaks to the modern experience where individuals, despite being surrounded by others, can feel profoundly isolated. This phenomenon is especially prevalent in today's technologically driven society, where superficial connections often overshadow meaningful relationships. The sense of disconnection permeates throughout the song. The protagonist's claim that he got no kids and no future succinctly conveys a sense of hopelessness, a belief that not only has he lost the tangible connections with his loved one, but he also lacks the foundational relationships that provide a sense of purpose and continuity. Children often represent hope and legacy. Thus, to possess no kids and see no future resonates as an affront to the human desire for continuity and belonging. The repetition of the phrase, "only this lonely blues," embodies the cyclical nature of loneliness. The protagonist's admission that he is left with only this lonely blues suggests a sense of resignation towards his emotional state. Blues music itself historically represents themes of loss, suffering, and longing, and by aligning the protagonist's plight with this genre, Balaban effectively elevates his feelings of isolation to a broader cultural context. Moreover, the word only implies a confinement. This loneliness is not merely an aspect of his life, it is the only artifact left in the wake of his lost relationship and the many unfulfilled dreams he harbors. Such repetition creates a sense of entrapped despair, evoking a visceral response from the listener and inviting them to ponder moments in their own lives where they, too, might have felt similarly isolated against the world's backdrop. In conclusion, Blues for the Kings by Matteo Balaban serves as a captivating exploration of loneliness through its lyrical depth and poignant themes. The song delves into the painful realms of lost relationships, emotional estrangement, and the cyclical nature of isolation, creating a narrative that resonates universally. Through evocative imagery and a haunting refrain, Balaban crafts an intimate portrait of a lonely man navigating a world overflowing with potential connections, yet feels utterly devoid of solace. Ultimately, this song is more than a reflection of one individual's plight. It is a melody of shared experience that connects listeners across cultures and backgrounds. In an ever-complex world, Blues for the Kings reminds us of the fragility of our relationships and the profound impact they have on our sense of self. It urges us to confront the often ignored realities of loneliness, fostering a deeper understanding of the emotional landscapes that inhabit our lives. In doing so, Balaban captures a powerful truth that within our shared moments of solitude lies the profound potential for connection and healing. Through this medium, Balaban encourages an open dialogue about the experience of loneliness, breaking down barriers and inviting listeners to find strength in the acknowledgement of their own vulnerabilities. In the spirit of the blues, we navigate together through the intricacies of existence, ever reminded that we are not alone in our solitude. Blues from Croatian artist Matteo Balaban, known by the name Bordo.